Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's international webinar on the topic Environmental Sustainability and Our Role. Today's webinar is hosted by the Department of Environment Studies, Postgraduate Government College for Girls, Sector 42, Chandigarh, India. I'm Sunita Arya, webinar coordinator, and it gives me immense pleasure to face the presence of you all. Seminars, webinars are organized and conducted to the general audience to gain insight and information regarding a topic that would remain effective in their life experiences and work. So the topic of today's webinar and the panel discussion has been kept keeping in mind the interest of everyone. Before we go further, I will provide an overview of this webinar in brief. Today we have presentations from two esteemed speakers. First topic of presentation is managing water energy nexus and water energy nexus for climate change, mitigation and adaptation by Dr. Gyan Shrestha from University of British Columbia, Canada. Dr. Suman Moore, Chairperson, Department of Environment Studies from Punjab University, Chandigarh, will shed light on the topic sustainable solid waste management and mitigating climate change. A brief panel discussion will follow the presentation. For panel discussion, we have Dr. Sunil Mittal from Central University of Punjab, and he's gracing the occasion as a chief panelist, and soon he will share screen with us. Another panelist, Dr. Ritu Silva. She is the head of the Environment Education Department from Postgraduate Government College 46, Chandigarh. And Ms. Tanveer Kaur, she is the Information Officer at NSF, Department of Environment, Chandigarh Administration. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude on behalf of me and my entire team to all of you who sincerely committed to this event to make it happen by accepting our invitation. Next, on the behalf of my department, I would like to extend my gratitude towards our principal madam, Professor Nisha Agarwal, for encouraging us to conduct this webinar. We are thankful to you, madam, for your kind support, suggestions, and guidance whenever I have required. I must mention that right now we have everyone on mute to avoid background noises that may distract us from listening to our speakers in the webinar, but you can enter your questions and comments in the question box throughout the presentation. I will ensure that the seminar will be profitable and useful for everyone present here, and you will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event. With this brief background, I would now request Madam Principal, Professor Nisha Agarwal, for a formal welcome, and ma'am, let the webinar unroll. Over to Madam Professor Nisha Agarwal.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Postgraduate Government College for Girls, Sector 42, Chandigarh, I welcome you all to this international webinar on environmental sustainability and our role, challenges and solutions. I extend my warm welcome to our eminent speakers, Dr. Gyan Shrestha from the University of British Columbia, Dr. Suman Moore from Punjab University, Chandigarh, Chief Panelist Dr. Sunil Mittal, Central University of Punjab, Bathinda, and other panelists Dr. Ritu Saroha from PGGC 46 and Ms. Tanveer Kaur from the Department of Environment, Chandigarh Administration for this event. Sustainability is all about the judicious use of natural resources, and it is the need of the hour to understand the extent of problem and their solution. Through this webinar, participants will not only be more alert and aware of sustainable approach, but also it will help them to find out solutions that how to live in harmony with nature without exploiting our natural resources. Today's deliberations will help us to think very minutely on all aspects which have resulted in harming the environment around us. My best wishes are with the event coordinator, Sunita Arya, and her team. I'm sure in today's event, we all will come up to few conclusions on what can be done at our level to solve the environmental issues. You all will definitely take some learnings home today. I would request all the participants to be attentive throughout the session and use all the learnings from today's session in their lives. So, without any further delay, let us begin today's session.
The, sh- the today's scheduled seminar brushes upon a spectrum of exciting and challenging themes like water energy nexus, climate change, mitigation, waste management, and an individual's role in how to use resources judiciously. I sincerely hope that this seminar proves to be beneficial for all the participants. Investing into this interest, I would like to introduce to our esteemed speaker from the University of British Columbia, Dr. Gyan Chipishrestha, to share their valuable views on the seminar's theme and to guide us with the possible solutions. Dr. Gyan is an environmental engineer currently working as an adjunct assistant professor at the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering in the University of Windsor and a sessional lecturer at the School of Engineering in the University of British Columbia, Canada. Dr. Gyan Chipishrestha has received his PhD in water engineering from the University of British Columbia. His research focuses on the sustainable water supplies, wastewater management, water energy nexus, climate change, environmental impact assessment, health risk analysis, life cycle analysis, and decision analysis. It is important to mention that he has a cross-disciplinary academic background in environmental sciences, engineering, and sociology too. He has published over 35 peer-reviewed journal papers, 4 book chapters, and has also co-authored a book. He has earned 6 years of teaching and research experience in different universities also. Dr. Gyan has been awarded with title Applied Science Rising Star in 2017 of University of British Columbia. He is also gold medalist in environmental science from Tribhuvan University, Nepal. Welcome, Dr. Gyan Chipishrestha. We look forward to the fruitful discussion today. And now, screen is all yours, sir. Over to you. Dr. Gyan, you can start now.
Dr. Gyan, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you see the screen now? Hello. Hello. Can you see the screen? Screen. Can you see the screen? I think there are some issues. So
We can see your. We were able to see your screen, but
you
right
can see
now
it.
we can't see that.
Okay. Can you see the screen now? Yeah, please. Okay. Thank you. Sunita Madam, for the brief introduction. Thank you.
So you can share it again.
Let me see.
Now we can see it, sir.
Okay. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay. There are some. Can you see? Can you listen? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible, sir. Sir, perfectly fine.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So, uh, good morning, all of you. I'm Gyan Chipishrestha, as Ms. Sunita Madam introduced me. In today's seminar, I'm going to present my talk on the managing water energy nexus for climate change mitigation and the adaptation. I will bring with this. I will start with this one news that is in the international media about India. I think few years back. The title of this news is India's water energy nexus. India's water crisis is impacting energy supply. What can be done? It can be other way around. If India's energy crisis happen, then it will impact the water as well. Then what is the nexus between them? What is the relationship between them? This is the topic for today's discussion. For today's discussion, I have this is the contents. First, I will present my brief introduction on the water energy nexus. Then I will present a few case studies from Canada as well as India. Then I will go to water energy climate nexus. What is the nexus between them? And then global water and energy challenges that are present today, and what are the solutions? What is our role? Mainly focusing on adaptation and mitigation, and finally summarize today's talk. Let's start with this humanity's challenge, humanity's problem that exists today. These are the top 10 problems given by these Nobel laureates, by this Richard Shamley. At present, these are the top 10 problems. Among the top 10 problems, you can also see that the top two, first and second, are energy and water. Obviously, there is environment in rank 4 as well. But let's concentrate on energy and water today. These two are very, very important for the existence of life in the society, in the community. Not only for us, it is necessary for the ecosystem as well. What is the relationship between these two? Let's analyze it and how we can conserve it so that we can have balanced, you can say, with the ecosystem and the community in the coming days. When we say the water energy nexus, so we know water, we know energy. The meaning of nexus, nexus mean interconnection, interrelationship, or you can say their correlation. So the relationship between water and energy is actually its interrelationship, its correlation. Before diving into this topic, let's first talk about the water. Why we need energy for the water? So there is a we need energy for the water. For we call as the energy for water. So we need energy for the water collection. We call as the water abstraction. Once we collect the water, we will do water treatment in the water treatment plant. In the water treatment plant, we use lots of machinery. We need energy. Once we treat the water, we have to distribute this water to our household, our tap. For this, again, we need pumping energy. Energy is used. Once the water is in our tap, again, we might have to use energy. Sometimes we want to have like a laundry in hot water, dishwashing in hot water, or maybe we want to have like a hand washing in warm water. Again, we need energy. Once we use water, wastewater is generated. Now we cannot dispose as it is in environment. We have to do treatment. Again, wastewater treatment needs energy. So this chain, all this path needs energy. Energy is very, very important for water. At the same time, we can also get energy from water. How? For example, let's start from the wastewater. Water mean water as well as the wastewater. So wastewater, if wastewater is flowing wastewater has the energy. We can use it to generate like electricity, just like rotating the turbine. Also, these wastewater are generally warmer than the you can say the ambient water normally in the winter. So we can extract that heat. So it has thermal energy. Cold countries like Canada and other parts, they will extract heat from the wastewater because it's usually the outside water is usually like cooler than the wastewater. The water coming from the kitchen, they are warmer than the lake water or the river water. We can extract that energy. And you can see the wastewater, you can see in this picture as well, wastewater is very dirty. This dirty means this wastewater has organic matter. This organic matter is actually its energy. We can extract that energy, for example, for biogas and other purpose. Also, these days, when water is flown in the pipe, this can also be used to generate electricity. So we can also we can also extract energy from the water and wastewater. Similarly, when we move to the next, when we generate energy, we cannot generate energy without water. Directly, for example, we call as the water for energy. Directly, we in the hydropower, we use water for generating electricity. So water is required for the electricity. You maybe think about the other like a fossil fuel like natural gas, other example. Even for the natural gas, we use lots of water for their extraction. The technology is called as the hydraulic fracturing. It uses large amount of water for their extraction. These days you maybe heard about the bioethanol, biodiesel. These are produced from the plant. To grow those plants, again we need water. India generate like electricity mainly from the thermal plant. That means using natural gas, using coal plant, just like as shown in the photo. How they generate electricity? In hydropower, the the moving water will rotate the turbine. In thermal plant, how we generate? Actually, we burn the coal or natural gas. We burn the coal or the natural gas. Heat will be generated. That heat will actually make convert the water into the vapor or steam. That steam will rotate the turbine and electricity is generated. So in the thermal power plant also, we use water for rotating the turbine, as well as then we have to cool down those steam so that we can reuse it. Again, we need water. So water is used in almost all types of energy for their generation. So water is very important for generating electricity or energy. Now, when we use energy, when we use water, it will emit greenhouse gases or GHG, or we can say carbon emission. How, for example, when we burn natural gas or the coal, obviously there is a smoke, it contains greenhouse gases. Again, you can see the wastewater very dirty. You can see those smell. In those smell, naturally, those organic matter are being degraded. They will emit those greenhouse gases like methane and carbon dioxide. Again, that means those carbon dioxide, or you can say the greenhouse gases, are coming from the wastewater. So, water and energy, they are related. Again, both of them actually cause greenhouse gas pollution or increases. Here is one example that give up an entire picture of our cities, our villages, like I shown in the diagram here. From this dam, we generate electricity. So electricity is there's energy. The red arrow is energy, blue arrow is water. So this dam energy is produced. Red arrow from the water. Again, this water is used for the thermal power plant, for cooling those power station, as well as producing steam. Energy is produced. Again, water is flowing in the river. This water is used for drinking purpose. To pump it up, again, we need energy. We use water, wastewater is generated. This is the wastewater. For its treatment, we need again energy. See, this water and energy are very, very interconnected, highly interlinked, intertwined. This is called as water energy nexus. Yes, water energy nexus, they are very, very interlinked. You cannot move this water hill water wheel or water gear without moving the energy, or you cannot move this energy gear without moving the water. Once you turn on the water, it will turn on the energy. So that means when you uh, like uh, make a decision about the water use about the water, automatically you are wasting energy as well. Now let's think. Two questions for you. Let's have a few seconds. Can you get drinking water that has not consumed energy? Is it possible? Can you get drinking water that has never used energy? Is it possible? Another question. Can you use energy or can you get energy that has not consumed water? Is it possible? Probably no. You have to use those water in their cycle in one or other way. You may say that solar, you can say that even for the solar, you need a solar panel. Yes, you need a solar panel. It seems like there is no water, right? But to make those solar panel in the factory, they use water in those factory or processing. Even they use water. So water is actually required for every processes. In the same way, for the processing of every water and wastewater, energy is required. So they are very, very intertwined. I will be using a few like a measurement unit here so that you can have clear like a vision so that you can visualize those that numerical meaning. 1 cubic meter of that means 1,000 liter. 1,000 liter that means you can see the usually like in those mineral water bottle it's 1 liter. So 1 cubic mean you can have 1,000 bottle. If I ask you to visualize 1,000 bottle, how much would be? Would it be the full of car? Would it be the full of bus or full of or would it be the full of truck if you put 1,000 bottle? Sometimes again difficult to visualize. You can simply take this cubical box where each length, breadth, and height is of 1 meter. Again, question: how big is 1 meter? For simplicity, for adult person, the height up to the waist is 1 meter. So think a box, cubical box, where its height is up to the waist, width is the same length, and its width also the same distance. Think now you can visualize that box, fill it with water. That is actually 1 cubic meter. That is 1,000 liter. I think now you get the meaning. Now you can visualize when I say 1 cubic meter of water. Now you can visualize how much water would it be. Same box where its height, length, width of the equal size with the height of your waist for the adult person up to this waist. Another term, 1 kilowatt hour. We like in our countries like in South Asia, kilowatt hour also called as the 1 unit. What does it 1 unit mean? How much energy is it? Usually this laptop comes in like its power is 100 watts. Now if you run this laptop for 10 hours, it will consume 1 kilowatt hour, 1 unit. So 1 kilowatt hour means it's the same amount of energy that you will use to run your laptop for 10 hours. And 1 megawatt hour means 1,000 kilowatt hours. I think now you have that visualization. When I say 2.5 meter cube per kilowatt hour, you can visualize that number. We'll see. Now let's go for the case studies here. The first case is I want to present from one Penticton in Canada. So now this is the Earth globe, and in the Canada, the red is Canada here, and almost all of you are in India. You can say in the eastern part, east and west, very distance. Thanks to the technology, because of technology, we can talk live, we can listen live. So in this Canada, in the western part of British Columbia, there is a city called City of Penticton. This study was conducted in City of Penticton, and it was totally done on the water system. Water system, it starts from the water abstraction, collection, water treatment, distribution, use, wastewater treatment, and again a little bit recycling. In this entire cycle, how much energy is consumed? Energy use. It for each step, there is energy use. Also, like in major step like a water treatment, wastewater treatment, we have to use chemical. When you manufacture those chemical in the factory, they also consume energy. That energy is called as the embodied energy. Yes, embodied energy in the material or chemical, and the energy that we use in the all the processes. So here we can say that in the all the process we have the water we extract from the river, lake, or maybe groundwater, and this water flows along this entire channel. At the same time, we also use energy in every step for chemical manufacturing as well as for pumping and the treatments. When we use water as well as energy, and again it does carbon emission. That means the emission of greenhouse gases. See, very, very highly interlinked. You cannot have the clean water without energy. and I did calculation for every step from raw water collection, treatment, distribution, use, wastewater collection, wastewater treatment, and finally biosolid transportation. See this picture, see this map. Can you guess which step consume the highest amount of energy? These square boxes. Can you guess? Let's think. Water collection, conveys mean collection, treatment, distribution, use, wastewater collection, wastewater treatment, and then after wastewater treatment, there is some solid product like leftover with dispose it. Many people they cannot guess it. Actually, the highest amount of energy is actually consumed in water use. This water use exclude the kitchen use. It doesn't include the kitchen use. This water use means energy that we use for the domestic water heating, basically for like a hot, we can say the hot laundry, hot showering, hot dishwashing, hot hair washing. So in cold countries like Canada, we use lots of hot water for no for like a taking shower, hand washing, uh, dishwasher, a laundry machine, we use hot water. So it's about 90% of energy is consumed in this domestic water use. It again, it doesn't include the kitchen water use for the drinking or cooking. Other surprising fact here, in water treatment, it consumes only 1.5 percentage. However, for the wastewater treatment, it consumes more than double of the water treatment. So wastewater treatment is very expensive than the water treatment. That means we have to use the water, you know, uh, preciously. So we do not have to waste it. Once it is waste, then we have to treat it, and it is costly. So based upon this channel, now I have this diagram, water energy nexus, in relation with the carbon, in relation with the carbon here. So this diagram shows here the energy for the water and wastewater is 11 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. Now can you visualize it? 11 kilowatt hour per cubic meter mean 1 cubic meter, 1 bucks of water. To produce that 1 bucks of water, you need 11 kilowatt hour of energy. 11 kilowatt of energy. That means if it is 1 kilowatt hour, 10 hour of laptop work. If it is 11 kilowatt means it is now 110 hours of work. A lot of energy is consumed by water. Similarly, for the electricity here, water for energy is for 1 kilowatt hour of energy, it needs 6.5 liter. It's not too much, but still it consumes water. 1 kilowatt hour to run your laptop for 10 hours, you need the energy. For that energy, it consumes around 7 liter. For water, again, it also does the carbon dioxide emission, 120 gram per cubic meter, 120 gram from the water. Energy also maybe around 120 gram, 124 gram per cubic, almost equal for each cubic meter and each kilowatt hour. So it shows the very, very interlinkage between water and energy. Another case study that is from the Peachland, which is nearby the city of Penticton, again in same province in Canada. It's a small neighborhood, around 51 hectare, trying to accommodate 5,000 of population. This is newly planned. Development is going on. Let's talk about this. This is called as the New Monaco neighborhood. In this city, how in this city now this includes the water use as well as the energy use in the building. Let's start from the water. So we have the water collection from the, again, this is by the city. The municipality does water collection, treatment, and the distribution. This is by municipality. We call it as the utility. So this is the municipality job. And water interest to the houses. Single family house we call multi-family house. Inside the house we use water. Indoor water we use for the laundry, shower, toilet, dishwasher, and faucet mean tap. And also we use water for landscaping. Here they use a lots of water for landscaping mean lawn. They maintain lawn outside of the house, green lawn, or you can say garden. They maintain it. They use lots of water. Inside the home, then we use energy for space heating. That means room heating, lighting, space cooling, as well as for appliances, mean for laptop and for television, we use water. So we use energy. This energy inside the home, as well as the energy that the municipality use for this treatment and distribution, we combine it, or everything we combine together, and we have the total energy. Remember, this energy also have the water footprint. We use, this is just the electricity. This electricity also has the water use when it was produced in the power plant. We also have that water here, and we combine everything here. We combine total energy. We have the total water footprint here. And when we see here that the value here, so energy, basically two types of energy source here. One is natural gas, and there is the electricity. And in that neighborhood, the water use is around 335 liter per person per day. Very large number. It's not a good number. A lot of water use per person per day. 335 is a lot. And if we see its energy intensity, it's around 1.57 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. Now you can visualize 1 cubic meter, 1 bucks of water. It used the energy of 0.57, means that can run laptop up to 6 hours, right? And the energy use in the for the energy, this is 22 kilowatt hour per person per day. Per person is around 22 kilowatt. Again, this is a very large number of units, large amount of energy, because they had to heat the room as well a lot. When you convert this into the laptop hour, it is like a 220 hours. You can run the simply the laptop with the same energy that you use in one day. And in the same energy, the water footprint is around 20 liter per kilowatt hour is the water footprint of the energy. So the water footprint means all the water that has been or that was used to produce that electricity. It may be hydropower, it may be natural gas, it may be nuclear power, or it may be other, some amount of water will be used. So all will be combined together to calculate the water footprint. Similarly, the water footprint of a natural gas is less than half liter for 1 kilowatt hour. So we can have again this kind of water energy nexus for that neighborhood, around zero point 0.6 kilowatt hour per cubic meter, and then 20 liter per kilowatt hour. Very, very interlinked. Now coming to India, there are very less studies, but I found this example here in like India. It was conducted in Pune Municipal Corporation. Although it's an old study, but it has the value here. The energy intensity for water supply in Pune is actually around 0.35 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. Yes, 0.35 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. That means if you waste 1 cubic meter of water, or if you waste that box of water, you remember one meter box. If you waste that water, you will be losing 0.35 kilowatt hour of energy. 0.35 means actually you will be losing the same energy that you need to run your laptop for 3.5 hours. You are wasting that energy. If you waste water, you are wasting the energy as well. Surprisingly, the number are actually almost similar with another municipality in Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation. They come with a number 0.36 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. Maybe it may be similar number in your city. If you waste water, you are wasting energy. If you conserve energy, you are conserving water as well. Very interesting. Now I thought let's go to the next topic on the climate change. I think this climate change is maybe the word which has been used most frequently in the world these days. Climate change. I believe you study climate change in the courses, maybe in the even high school as well. Once again, let's you can say review it. Climate change. It's indicate the change in the state of the atmosphere, mainly change in their average value. For example, their rainfall value, their temperature value, minimum maximum values, change in their values, in their average value, or maybe the change in their ranges. minimum to maximum value, there is a range of temperature, range of the precipitation. Precipitation means rainfall. There is a range. So it may fluctuate. If it fluctuates by day, month by month, that is not climate change. If that change happen for a kind of extended period, longer time, like a decade or longer, then only we call as the climate change. That is the climate change. And this climate change can happen naturally. If it happens naturally as well, if it is happening naturally, we can do nothing. We have to just we try to prepare ourselves to the climate change. The climate change that is happening today is the anthropogenic climate change, and because of these greenhouse gases on the atmosphere, and these greenhouse gases are because of our activities, we produce it, and this is also called as the anthropogenic climate change. So the for the climate change, the culprit is the greenhouse gases. Why? You are again familiar with the greenhouse effect here. So this greenhouse gas act as the blanket. So this solar radiation can easily enter to the earth even through greenhouse gas layer. It can enter. Once we enter and it bounce back, it cannot exit through the this blanket layer. Greenhouse gas. Why? Question is why? Get the same example. You have the ball in your hands. Yes, hit the ball on the ground. See the force you hit on the ground. Once it bounce back, its energy will be reduced, right? Same concept here. When this like solar radiation enters to the atmosphere and hit the land surface, it has high energy. We call as the short wavelength radiation. It has high energy. It can enter it. It can penetrate it. But once it hit the ground and it bounce back, see this bounce back, its its energy will be reduced. We call as the long wave radiation. It has less energy, so it cannot penetrate through this layer. Then it will stay there and it will make warmer and warmer. So this is the greenhouse gas effect, and it is causing the climate change. What are the observed changes here? So what are the observed changes here? This is in the temperature change here. Temperature changing from, we can say, degree Celsius. So this orange, or you can say the brown color, up to 2 degrees Celsius. Even you can say in India, you can say this is a kind of a little bit white and yellowish color, plus plus 1 to 1.5 or 2 degrees Celsius. This is, so remember, this is the observed change in the last 1 century. About 100 years, these are the changes. What will happen in the future? In the next decade, there are two scenarios. If greenhouse gas emission is actually reduced, or amount is reduced, still we can have the increase in temperature. We can say in India here, you can say a plain yellow here, maybe 1.5, 1.8 or 2 degrees Celsius. But if increase in greenhouse gases, if there is a more and more increase in the greenhouse gases, emission in the greenhouse gases, the emission on these greenhouse gases will cause the highly increase in temperature all over the world, up to maybe 4 degree, 5 degree. You can see very red color here. Red color means you can say 4, 5, 6 degrees Celsius. It can be increased. What is the observed changes in the precipitation here? Again, in the precipitation here, the blue color mean increase in precipitation by 25%, 50%. We can see blue color here as well. If it is again yellow or brown color, there is decrease in the precipitation. Precipitation means rainfall. Our interest is in India. We can see the blue as well as the brown color. So more it is the blue color, more high precipitation may be the good news. At the same time, in some part, it may be the precipitation can be reduced. Now we can establish that there is a nexus, or the relationship between water, energy, and the climate. Because of the climate change, it affect the rainfall, precipitation. That means it affect the water ability in our villages, in our cities. So it affects water, energy, and climate. So this nexus is actually called as the water, energy, climate nexus. So not only between water and energy, there is also a very close nexus, or the interrelationship between water, energy, and climate. Let's see few examples how climate change has been impacting on the water. First, impact in the stream flow. There are many studies, many researches done. In general, in most of the cases, they recorded that the stream flow has been decreased among those studies. So in 45 cases, it is decreased. 19 cases, it is increased. But in general, it is decreased. They are drying. Other significant feature is that no, in the from the Himalaya, there is a in the summertime or when usually in the springtime and the summertime, there is a melting of the glacier. Snow melt and we receive lots of water for our irrigation, for our drinking, even when there is no rainfall. It shows that there is a earlier spring discharge, earlier melting than it is used to be. Also in the Arctic river, there is the river ice, they are breaking up because of the warming. Next impact is the groundwater. Groundwater, there is the impact that has been actually observed is actually its groundwater recharge has been decreased, and it is said that it's mainly because of the decrease in precipitation. One example is in Kashmir, India. Here, this is the globally shared information. So in India, in the Kashmir also, there are the rivers, there are the spring. Those springs are actually fed by the groundwater. Groundwater provide water for those spring, for those small rivers, and they are actually drying mainly because of the decrease in precipitation. So groundwater is also impacted by by climate change. Next is on water quality. What are the impacts? Definitely, the first impact is its temperature will be increased. When temperature in the those water body will be increased, lots of things will happen. Normally, when temperature is increased, mean reaction rate will be increased in the system, and many things are happening. So, increase in temperature, increase in the organic matter, increase in the sediment, increase in the nutrient like a nitrogen, phosphorus. When they are increased, we can say this kind of algal bloom. This is because of increase in nitrogen and phosphorus in the system. This can happen. Other worst thing is that because of this, there will be decrease in dissolved oxygen. Fishes and other aquatic animals are inside the water. They get oxygen from the same oxygen which is dissolved in the water. So when dissolved oxygen is decreased, fishes and other aquatic animal cannot survive. They are decreasing. At the same time, in the rainy season, their fecal coliform are increasing. So these are the impacts on the water quality. And finally, this is the extreme hydrological events. So because of the climate change, there is extreme precipitation, and there is a extreme precipitation, and there are the flooding issues. So the blue color shows that the flooding frequency is being increased,
मैम
and
मैं
if it is
मैक्सिमम कर दूँ ना
and
वॉल्यूम
if it is in the if it is orange or the red, the frequency is decreased. So in India also we can see lots of blue color. Blue color means like a flood is increasing. Flood is increasing. Now let's go to some water challenges, global water challenges. What is the current situation of water and energy? Let's talk from the water. The data shows that today 2.2 billion people do not have safe drinking water. Yes, we have around 2.2 billion people do not have safe drinking water. This is the great challenge. 4.2 billion people do not have safe sanitation. No drinking water, no sanitation, and 3 billion people they lack hand washing facility. Another great challenge here. Every year, 40 billion hours are actually lost or spent by the women and the girls in Africa for collecting the water. 40 billion hours are actually they are spent for collecting the water because they have to travel a long distance to collect the water. And if you calculate this, this is the same number of hour that actually for the entire France will use for their population, for their economic activities. France has around 67 million population, maybe around 14, 15 million people, 14, 15 million people, they work in office. Every day they work 8 hours. For same million, 14, 15 million people working 8 hours per day, how many hours will be in a 1 year? Same hours will be lost by the people in the Africa, mainly by the women and the girls, for simply collecting water. It means actually for those girls, they are missing the school, they are missing the education. That's another challenge. And having said that, not only today, the water use is increasing and increasing every day. So this is actually the great challenge. Now let's see the situation of the global energy. Global energy challenge. Again, the graph shows that the energy use is increasing and increasing always, ever increasing. Why? For example, let's say how much energy you use in your family today and how much energy was used by your parents and grandparents 50 years back. 50 years back, how much they collect water, so they can be, so in that time they use less amount of energy, but now we use lots amount of energy, so we are using lots amount of energy here. And from the and and for the solution, we so so now this is the finally we are in the solution part. So in the solution part we are using water, we have to reduce water, we have to reduce energy, and we have to reduce greenhouse gases. There are certain step here. The first one is how institution can do. So they have to they make a plan so that water and energy saving as well as they are efficiently they can save the like a water and energy together. They have to make a plan so that they have the robust structure they can maintainable. They have the water saving program at the institution, and to have reduced the natural disaster impact, there will be early warning system should be there so that if there is a flood, there is early warning system should be there. Cities should be designed as a water sensitive city, and for the, any kind of cities, there should be diverse sources so that they can use one sources and the other. And finally, so in the industry also, like if they are using the energy, they should use the energy that use less amount of water and less carbon footprints. For example, here there are different options for the energy. In those options, their water footprint is very different. For example, as well as their carbon footprint is also different. Like for this coal, so here,
Jan,
re-
we are exceeding time. Please try to
yeah,
sum
I
up.
think sure, this is the last slide, I guess. So in this here, so this red line shows the CO2 emission. So we have to choose in such a way that there is a less water use and there is a less carbon emission from the when selecting the energy. And finally, there is a more research is required so that we can have efficient water treatment as that use less amount of energy. That is cost there is that is low cost. And finally, we can summarize that water and energy, they are very interlinked. Saving water means saving energy. It will save the cost as well. So, having said that, thank you very much for this s- seminar, and I'm welcome for any kind of questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ogya ma'am. Should I start? A very good morning to all present online. Myself, Dr. Vikas, Assistant Professor, Department of Biotechnology, Government College for Girls, Sector 42, Chandigarh. On behalf of Department of Environment Education, Government College for Girls, Sector 42, Chandigarh, India, I would like to thank Dr. Gyan for his enriching and marvelous presentation on the topic Managing Water Energy Nexus for Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation. Thank you, sir. Now,
Thank
I would like to have some questions from audience. Sir, I would like to ask a question. Ma'am, Ashima कहाँ गया? How can we avoid? How can we deal with the impacts of water management, especially drainage, when going long-term hydrology and water quality modeling?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. So your question is how we can deal with the impact of water management when doing with the long-term hydrology and water quality. So when we do like a water quality, like a
अच्छा
modeling or the hydrology, so we can say that like a
नहीं नहीं
so water quality, so we do water quality modeling. In that case, so I think then what is its impact in the environment? What is impact in the maybe energy and the cost? So simply, when you do the long term by using those model, you can estimate. So those models are available. How for the estimation of those impact? Those impact can be, for example, you extract water from that, it will impact the ecosystem. If you like discharge their drainage or the wastewater there, again it will impact the ecosystem in the lake and river there. So by doing modeling as well as by doing field studies, we can see what may be the impact of this particular type of management on the water bodies. Thank you.
Sir, next question. How to resolve problem of over exploitation of water resources in slum areas, a new problem.
Yeah, this is like a very you can say the real problem that is happening in the slum area. There is over expression of water. That means now uh, we have the limited water here, and we need the basic amount of water that we need to survive. In that case, if water availability in the river or maybe those pump like a tube well underground is not sufficient, we have to use the alternative water, definitely with the help of governments. We have to provide those water. If the water in the existing condition is not available, we have to provide the additional water so that to maintain the basic
Implementation.
like a basic, we can say, minimum quality of life in those slum area.
Actually, sir, we have a number of questions which are lining towards us, but with the lack of time, we need to cut short. We can only allow only one more question. Sir, I would like to ask you what can be the strategies nature is adopting to maintain water energy nexus?
Yeah, this is a very great question. How nature is maintaining? So nature is actually maintaining by itself, like how it manages water. For example, nature itself have the energy. The nature has is actually the gravitational energy that it's use it. Water flows from higher elevation to lower elevation. So the water is flowing here. So we do energy for the water treatments naturally. There is a natural purification as well for the treatment. So so those are bacteria, those organisms are there in the lakes and river. Naturally they are being purified. So they are not using energy, they are using those microorganisms. With the flowing water, when it is slow down, those a heavy particle that will settle down on the bottom. It's happening naturally. They are not using extra energy like gravitational energy, using those biological organism treatment as well as the moving of water is happening because it's by natural process. So naturally it is being maintained. But once like people like us, when we extract water with over exploitation, then it has more impact.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks a lot. Dr. Sunil Mittal has recently joined us, and he is one of the chief panelists we are going to have in the panel discussion. So I welcome Dr. Mittal, Dr.
Thank you,
Sunil
sir.
Mittal.
Thank you,
Now,
Dr. Vikas.
thank you, sir. It is my privilege. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Suman Moore. Dr. Suman Moore is currently serving as a chairperson, Department of Environmental Studies, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Dr. Moore has done her PhD from IIT Delhi, New Delhi, India, in the field of solid waste management after completing her MTech in the subject of environmental science and engineering from Guru Jambeshwar University, Science and Technology, Hisar, India. Before joining Punjab University, she was lecturer and in charge in the Department of Energy and Environmental Sciences, Haryana, from August 2004 to August 2006. Since year 2006, she is working in Punjab University in the Department of Environmental Studies. She also served as coordinator, Center for Public Health, Punjab University, from July 2015 to July 2018. Science, especially in the air and water pollution, solid waste management, and public health research, and over 3,600 citations, 85 research papers in reputed national and international journals. She is the reviewer of many international journals. She has completed more than 7 research projects and also served as a member of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan Committee, Chandigarh, India. She was awarded the Environmentalist of the Year Award 2011 and later Scientist of the Year Award 2012 by National Environmental Science Academy, NISA, New Delhi, India. She is also the recipient of VLIR Scholarship 2006 for Sustainable Water Management and Technology in Urban Areas by University of Antwerp, Belgium. She also awarded with Belgian Government Fellowship in the field of environmental science by MHRD, Government of India, New Delhi, and by Administration for Higher Education and Scientific Research, Flemish Community, Belgium, in the year 2003. She has been listed among top 2% environmental scientists from India by Stanford University in 2020. Recently, she has been appointed as the nodal faculty for Chandigarh under National Clean Air Program by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Also, she is current member of SEAC and CPCC, Chandigarh Pollution Control Committee, Chandigarh. Thank you. So I would like to invite Dr. Suman Moore for her encouraging and interesting presentation. So I welcome Dr. Suman. Please, you may start your presentation now.
Thank you, Dr. Vikas,
Thank you, ma'am.
for the kind introduction. First of all, I would like to convey my thanks to Professor Nisha Agarwal, Principal, GCG 42, for organizing such a wonderful international webinar on environmental sustainability and our role, challenges and solutions. So I also congratulate the organizing team, Dr. Sunita Arya, Dr. Ranjana Sharma, Dr. Preeti Sharma, for selecting such a good topic, environmental sustainability. And indeed, I must also convey my thanks to my colleague who just delivered his speak, Dr. Gyan Shrestha. Actually, he has really set the stage for me and made me my task a little bit comfortable, because he has already discussed water energy nexus and also discussed about basics of the climate change greenhouse effect. So I have chosen this topic, sustainable solid waste management in mitigating climate change. Kindly confirm if you are able to see my slides.
Yeah,
Are you
please
able
share.
are you
Please
able to see
share.
my?
No, we can't. Please share your screen first.
It's hang ho gaya. Just give me 1 second, I think.
Restart. Right. So I think there is some technical thing. Before I start with this, I will. So why I have selected this topic, sustainable solids management, because each one of us is producing solid waste in our day-to-day activity, and it is very important to understand what role we can play to addressing this issue actually. So India is producing on an average 62 million. I think my screen is visible now.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Okay. Sorry for technical issues. So I was just discussing that why we need to address the issue of solid waste management, because solid waste is also one of the important component which can contribute significantly in mitigating toward the climate change, and we need to address it for the sustainable management of solid waste is important so that we can mitigate toward the climate change. Now, before I will start, I want to discuss with the statistics that how much solid waste we are producing. In India, on an average, 200 gram to 600 gram of the waste is being produced, and each person is producing on an average this much amount. So the quantity can vary from one place to another, maybe. And again, the socio-economic status is also a very important factor which leads to the generation of the solid waste. Now, as I was discussing that on an average at this moment, 62 million ton of the waste is being produced, which is estimated to be rise to the 165 ton per annum in coming 10 years, that is by 2030. Out of this 62 million ton, 5.6 million ton of the waste come under the category of plastic waste, 0.17 million ton come under the category of biomedical waste, 7.90 million ton hazardous waste, and e-waste stream is also one among the upcoming waste. And this quantum keep on increasing day by day, and at this moment it is approximate 1.5 million ton. Now the main thing is that the entire quantity of waste whichever is produced is not collected. Only 75 to 80% of it is collected, and out of that only 22 to 28% is only processed and treated. So what happens to the rest? The rest quantity of the waste normally enters into the landfill site. So this 31 million ton of the waste is being normally entering into the landfill, and the actual problem starts for here. Now some of our students or our audience, they will ask, why can are there rules exist for these kind of the waste? Yes, for each and every kind of the waste the rules exist in place. For solid waste, basically we have solid waste management rule 2016, which were earlier known as the municipal solid waste management and handling rule 2000. For plastic waste, we have plastic waste management rule. For e-waste, we have e-waste management rule in place. And for the biomedical waste, we have biomedical waste management rule 2016. And recently, we also have construction and demolition waste management rule. And besides that, we also have the waste management rule for the hazardous waste. So you can see that for each and every kind of the waste, we have rules in place, but how many of us actually are aware about these rules? So until unless we will not be knowing about the waste, the type of the waste and the rules according to which we have to manage, we will not be able to play our role. So it is very important for us to understand all the existing waste management rules in India, and most of them are recently revised in 2016. So you can see that these rules are 2016, And yes, amendments are being given time to time, which we have to follow. So how the solid waste are produced? So I will only focus mainly on the solid waste management, only the basic solid waste, because it is going to contribute toward the greenhouse gas emissions, which ultimately lead to the climate change. So solid waste is being produced from a large number of areas, starting from the household to the commercial area, even from the road sweeping activity, from the industries, from the medical and healthcare activity, even from our construction and demolition activity, and even horticulture activity also produce large quantity of the waste. And all institutes also produce different kind of the waste. So a mixed variety of the waste is being produced from the institutes, and accordingly we need to manage all these kind of the waste as per the existing waste management handling rule. Now, before I will actually discuss with the main how it is contributing toward the climate change, I would like to discuss a brief about the composition. The solid waste, whatever we are producing from our day-to-day activity, it comprises of three main fractions. First fraction is normally known as the biodegradable waste, of which comprises of food, kitchen waste, or the green waste, including the paper. All these are biodegradable in nature, which means that these can be degraded and can converted into the compost, or we can produce gas after the decomposition of these waste material under scientific process. Then come another category, which is also known as the non-biodegradable, or most commonly known as the recyclable material. This includes paper, glass, bottle, cans, metals, and plastic material, etc. Then come another important category, inert waste. Inert waste basically comprises of the dirt, rocks, debris, and the waste which come out from the construction and demolition waste. Why we call it as the inert waste? Because it remain inert, does not have much impact, but yes, can lead to the emission of the particulate matter only, but otherwise it is more or less non-reactive in nature when it is introduced into the environment. So once we understand the composition of the solid waste, we need to know that why we need to manage. Does it really have any impact on the environment? So if we will not manage our solid waste, or we will not manage it in a scientific manner, then it can lead to a number of issues. First issue is related to the occupational and public health risk. Then is the it provide a breeding place for the pest, for the flies and various infectious organisms. Then due to the open burning of the waste, emissions are introduced into the environment, which can further lead to the various kind of environmental problem. Then come whenever a waste is being decomposed, a liquid is being produced due to the biodegradation of the waste material, and this is known as the leachate. So leachate is being produced from the landfill when waste is being degraded. Then comes another important component, the gases which are being produced inside a landfill. When the organic fraction of waste material are decomposed, they lead to the formation of a number of gases which are known as the landfill gas. So all these different kind of emissions are there if we go for the unscientific disposal of solid waste. Now, the thing is that why do we really need to worry about the emissions? We need to worry about these emissions in this slide. If you will see here, if we are disposing of our waste into a landfill, or a waste enters into a landfill, it can have different kind of the impact, starting from the local to the regional to the global. So first I will focus on the local environmental impact of the waste disposal. Here you will see that if a waste is being disposed in the landfill, in this landfill, then what will happen over the period of time? It will start decomposing, biodegradation start take place, and we will start feeling the odor problem. We will start feeling some kind of dust problem in that particular area. Slowly, slowly, leachate production will start. this leachate will percolate and it will enter into the it will percolate through the soil and find its way into the water table, ultimately leading to the groundwater pollution. And most of time we have seen that landfills are located near to the surface water bodies, and flow is normally like that. The leachate, whatever is being produced from a landfill, its flow is normally toward that surface water body, so it can contaminate also the surface water body. So it can lead to both groundwater pollution as well as the surface water pollution along with the soil contamination. Now, which kind of gases are being produced? We all know that the organic material comprises of basically carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen. So if it will be degraded aerobically or anaerobically, either in the presence of oxygen or either in the absence of oxygen, it will produce one kind or another kind of the gas. So continuously, either carbon dioxide will be produced or methane will be produced, or over the period of time we will have carbon dioxide, methane, and any other gases also, trace gases also, which will be entirely dependent upon the composition of the solid waste which is being dumped into the landfill. And these gases, basically methane gas, it is having very high calorific value, and it can catch fire over the period of time if the temperature reaches very high, and it can lead to the even explosion. And these gases can have health impact, negative health impact on the people who are living in the nearby area, or to the people who are engaged in the occupation related to the solid waste. So these are the various local impacts which a solid waste can have on the on local basis basically. So we know over the period of time, depending upon the wind direction, the odor can travel to a larger distance, and it can be at a larger distance. We can feel this odor, and this can even it will be considered as a regional issue. Thereafter, the gases which are being produced, like methane gas, carbon dioxide gas, Dr. Gyan already mentioned, they are the greenhouse gases. They can lead to the greenhouse effect, and ultimately they can contribute toward the climate change. So ultimately, the solid waste can contribute to both local, regional, and the global impact. Now, another important thing is that do we really need to worry about this? Does they have such a large impact that we need to be concerned about the solid waste management? Yes, it can have a large impact. And let me tell you one thing, that landfills come under the top category of the anthropogenic source of methane emission, and are the significant contributor toward the climate change when we talk about the anthropogenic source of emissions. Now, how the solid waste is linked with the greenhouse gases. Here you will see these are some of the states which are producing high waste, and high waste generating state, and here are the least waste generating state. Higher waste we are producing, higher the waste we are generating as an individual person, higher waste will enter into the landfill, or it will be degraded and it will contribute toward the methane and the carbon dioxide if it is not collected properly or managed properly. Now, as I told before also, that till now, most of the waste, it enters into the landfill. Ideally, it should not go into the landfill after the 2016 solid waste management handling rule, but the waste is still entering into the landfill, and more landfill we are having, more and more waste is being disposed over the period of time, more and more methane is being emitted, and ultimately contributing toward the greenhouse emission and the climate change. So it is a big challenge for us to achieve the national goal of emission reduction, because we are committed toward the reduction of the greenhouse gases. And if we want to achieve that particular target, we have to seriously think about the solid waste generation rate. We have to reduce the solid waste generation rate. We have to focus on the efficient management of the solid waste. So, besides, whenever a waste is being produced, then what we do basically, the methane gases which are being produced, or the carbon dioxide gases which are being produced, they are finally converted equivalent to the tons of the CO2. And in the slide you can see the most polluting state, the emissions in terms of the tons of CO2, and the least polluting state, the emissions in terms of the tons of CO2. So I just wanted to give you a statistic so that we can understand. Now, how the solid waste is further linked, or how we can prevent the greenhouse gas emissions. In solid waste management, we always speak that the 3R mantra play a very, very important role. And IPCC, that is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, has also stated that if action is not taken to prevent the continual increase of GHG emission, Earth temperature will increase by 6.4 degrees centigrade during the 21st century. And the waste management accounts for equivalent to approximate 5% of the greenhouse emission. This is the statistics as per the IPCC 2007 report. Now, how we can reduce the impact of the solid waste sector toward the greenhouse emission? It can be done simply following the waste prevention, followed by the recycling. Then it will ultimately lead to the waste reduction. In solid waste management hierarchy play a very, very important role. In this pyramid, the most favored option at the top and the least favored option at the bottom can be seen. So the most favored option is prevention. We should try all efforts to prevent the waste generation. If somehow we cannot prevent, we should go for the minimization of the waste generation. Still, if we are producing waste, we should try to go for the reusing it, recycling it, and then whatever waste is being produced, we should try to get energy, we should try to recover energy, and at the end, whatever is left should enter for the disposal. Now, how we can prevent the waste? Some of you will ask that normally we speak, we should prevent, we should not do this, we should not minimize it, but we don't tell that how we can do it, how we can prevent it. So, very, very simple steps from day to day activity we can take through which we can prevent. First thing is that if we are using a paper, we should try to make use of both the side of the paper, or nowadays the technology is like that. If it is not really needed, we should not take any kind of the print, and accordingly we can prevent the waste entering into the stream. Then how we can further minimize the waste? Minimization is equally important. If we cannot prevent the waste generation, we should try to minimize the waste. From day to day activity, we can think of like how much waste we have to set a particular target. Actually, if on an average I'm producing 400 or 500 gram of the waste per day, I should set a target, okay, I will bring it down to 200 gram per day, so that I can contribute a little bit. How we can minimize? We can take very, very simple steps. First thing is that we can avoid the wastage of the food. We can cook whatever we need, and we should not go for the bulk purchases. We can prevent the packaging of the material. Like whenever we go for the shopping, we are always attracted for the bigger packaging, so we should avoid it. If we are purchasing something, we should go for the things that which have minimum packaging. We should refuse taking boxes along with the material, so that it can be reused. And whatever material we are having in place, we should try to reuse. Then whatever waste material finally we are having in our day-to-day activity, for example, paper, plastic, glass material, metals, we should give it to the authorized recycler. Okay, the waste should be segregated at source. It should go to the authorized recycler so that it should enter into a recycling stream and can be utilized properly. Now, as per the solid waste management handling rule, energy recovery is very, very important. Most of the cities, they should focus on the recovery of the energy from the waste which is being produced. And this, we should have waste to energy plants, and the all the combustible fraction of the waste should be segregated and it should enter into that plant where energy can be produced. Then comes disposal. So very, very less amount of the waste, only inert actually, should enter into the landfill site. So very, very important question comes, as a citizen, what role we can play? What are our roles and responsibility? So we should be very well aware about our duties as a waste generator. Each one of us, including me and you, we come under the waste generator category as per Solid Waste Management Handling Rule 2016. So I just want to discuss with you about our roles and responsibility as a waste generator so that we should know and we can play our roles and responsibility. So as per Rule 4, the waste generators are supposed to segregate waste at source. Each one of us nowadays, we are hearing about the source segregation. At number of places, we can see different colored bins, blue and green. So wet waste, the biodegradable waste, should go into the green bin. The non-biodegradable waste or the recyclable waste should enter into the you can say blue bin. And there is another category of the waste which is being produced from our day-to-day activity. It is known as the domestic hazardous waste, which includes our you can say batteries, your harpic containers, your odonils, and this kind of the things, including sanitary waste, diaper wraps, etc. And even C&D waste, construction and demolition waste, which we are producing, we have some roles and responsibility. We need to manage it as per your city or your state bylaws, and we should manage it as per the C&D waste management handling rule. And the horticulture waste, again, we need to either manage at our on site, or as per your city bylaws, you have to hand over it to the authorized person so that it can be managed properly. Now, another important duty besides the segregation of waste at source come not to throw the waste in streets, in open areas, in drains. And we are even not allowed to burn solid waste in open or to bury it in the open area. So this rule prohibits us to throw the waste in open area, in the street or in the drains. Then another important thing is that we are supposed to pay user fee. If our municipal corporation says that we have to pay a particular amount of the fee for the door-to-door collection of the waste, we have to pay that fee. And if we are going to organize some events, social event, some gathering, more than 100 people in an area, we need to get permission for the generation of the waste. We cannot generate waste. Okay, we need to have permission. We have to pay some fee, and we need to get that kind of the permission. Besides that, all the street vendors, they also have to collect the waste. Whatever is being produced due to their activity, they have to collect that waste in container and then they have to send it for proper management. Besides this, the roles and responsibility of resident welfare association are also defined under this rule, that they have to also ensure the proper segregation of the waste, and even if possible they should go for the biocomposting or the biomethanation within that gated community. And Then institutes, they come under all those institutes which produce more than 100 kilogram of waste per day. It is their responsibility that they have to segregate it, they have to store it. Either they have to manage it at their own premises or they have to give it to a particular agency for the efficient management of waste. So this pamphlet we designed actually to create awareness how which kind of waste should enter into which particular kind of the bin. And these pamphlets we've designed actually in 2016 only. And we started this initiative as a part of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan of Punjab University and try to create awareness, try to make people aware about the three bin system and how we can efficiently make use of these bin. And even we also mentioned that what are the fines imposed by the Honorable National Green Tribunal for the defaulters, and it also speak about the roles and responsibilities as a generator, which we are supposed to do actually. These two bin systems were being designed for our Punjab University campus under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. And these bins are being placed, and at the top, if you can see, we also tried to give information that if someone get confused or if it is not aware which waste material should go to which bin, so over here information is provided that in green bin which waste material should enter, and in blue bin which waste material should enter. This is how we took this initiative to create awareness in Punjab University campus. So very quickly I will just tell you because I can understand time is very less, but because now this is such an interesting topic, I want all of you to participate and to contribute actually. And it is very important, we should actually know how we can contribute. So nowadays each one of us will be hearing about the Swachh Sarvekshan, and Swachh Sarvekshan is basically survey which is being done for the analysis of cleanliness, hygiene, sanitation in the towns and the cities. And the cities who get very good marks, actually, they are ranked at top. And in Chandigarh, we have been regularly participating in these Swachh Sarvekshans. And earlier we were at the top, but over the period of time we started losing those ranking. And believe me, last year we just lose that ranking. We could not be in the top just because of the citizen participation. So there are number of factors on the basis of which Swachh Sarvekshan is being done. So here one important factor which I just want to focus is only the citizen participation. So in the ranking methodology, numbers are being given, and here you can see in the slide citizen feedback. It comprises of the 1500 marks. There are total 6000 marks, and of which 1500 marks are just based on the citizen feedback. So let us become a responsible citizen. Whatever city you belong to, when you should frequently give your feedback about the solid waste management or the sanitation activities. And this can be done by using a particular app that I will be discussing very quickly. So in ranking methodology, there are different categories: cleanest city, self-sustainable city, maximum citizen feedback, best citizen feedback. These two categories, if you will see, if we are giving maximum feedback or if we are giving very honest feedback and regular feedback, we can make our city to be rewarded under these two categories. So another important category is the best citizen-led initiative. This is also again very important category of the ranking, where the citizen can play a very important role. Here these are the some cities, the top performer cities. You can see. So I will quickly go through here. Now, see, feedback play. Sometimes what we do, we are actually not aware. So citizen feedback actually help to assess how well a particular team, particular city did. And the citizen feedback will play a very, very important role. Like when public is participating, public is engaged, then it will act as a force for the government also to work efficiently. And believe me, alone government cannot do well, alone public cannot do well. All should come at a common platform, should give a support to each other so that we can all together rank at a higher level. I already discussed that how we can, how much marks are being there. 25% of weightage is being allotted to the citizen feedback, and the citizen can share their feedback through the Swachhta helpline, Swachhta app, Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 portal, and even through the outbound calls and the Vote for Your Clean City app. So we should make use of all these apps for giving our feedback, and they really play a very, very important role. And believe me, personally, I have made use of these apps, and if you are giving or you are reporting maybe some complaint, then quick action is being taken. So whenever you want to make use of such kind of portal, if you are lodging your complaint, don't forget to give your feedback once that particular task is being done. Normally what we do, we sometimes lodge our complaint, the task is being done, that is being attended, and we forget to give our response, how well it was, the performance was, or the action taken. So it is our responsibility to lodge our complaint and immediately give our feedback also, because that will ultimately count toward your city ranking. So this is our cities Chandigarh cleanliness ranking. You can see in the slide, and we all need to work hard and to make our city at top rank, and that can be done only by becoming a responsible citizen. On an average, in Chandigarh, we are producing approximately 450 metric ton of waste on a daily basis, and some part of it is entering into a landfill site, and some part go to the JP processing plant. We have RDF plant in Chandigarh city. So these are some of the questions. These are not very, very difficult questions, very simple questions which are being asked when you give your feedback. Like, is your waste collected daily from your house, or are you asked to give segregated dry and wet waste to your waste collector? And do you see a lesser use of poly bags or the plastic bags or water bottles? Or do you see messaging or practice around waste exchange program, if there is any kind of reuse, recycling program in your neighborhood? Or if your C&D waste is being managed properly, or if it is lying unattended? These are very, very simple questions which will be asked, and you have to simply respond. So you should participate. So these are the various channels to collect citizen feedback, which I just mentioned. So you can make use of any of the channel. You can also make use of this helpline 1969. And so citizen feedback is really very important. If we give our feedback for a waste, if it is lying here and there, it will be collected properly, it will be managed properly, it will be well taken care by the authorities. So it will either go to the composting plant or to a particular waste to energy plant. So we can somehow play our roles and responsibility. It should not produce methane gases or the CO2, or even if it is entering into the biomethanation, the methane gas can be trapped and can be utilized for the energy purpose. So how we can increase the people participation in feedback is like, we should make people aware, we should make people feel valued, and if we tell them yes, their opinion matter and how they can contribute toward the this ranking, only then people they will feel belongingness and then they will contribute. So these through this you can see, and this is the Swachhta app. You can simply download it and you can make use of it. So due to the paucity of time, I will not be able to give you much detail, but it is very simple, just like any other app which we download in our phone. We can download it and can make use of it. So here you can post your complaint, you can create an event, or these are the various services which you can make use by using this app. Like overflow of septic tank is there, you can lodge a complaint if there is some overflow of sewage or storm water is there, if dead animal is there nearby, if dustbin is not cleaned, your garbage is dumped here and there and is not being picked up, if your garbage vehicle has not arrived on time, sweeping is not done in your neighborhood, if there is no electricity in public toilet, if no water is there in public toilet, if you want to see that public, if you have noticed that public toilets are not clean. So these are some of the things through which you can lodge your complaints, and it's really very effective tool which you can make a use. And if you want to go for some kind of the event, then also you can create those event, you can engage your friends, you can invite people, like you, if you want to go for the park cleanup or if you want to go for the green neighborhood activities, then you can create an event, you can invite people and they can also contribute. So if we will participate, what benefit will be there to the citizen? We will be able to locate the complaint, and we will be always able to locate the regular complaint status, and even when we are giving a feedback, quick action will be taken, and it in the long term it will help us to achieve the star rating for a particular city. These were some news which appeared in newspaper a few weeks back. So I urge all of you to take a Swachhta pledge, and by taking this Swachhta pledge, we can contribute for the cleanliness in our surrounding area, and we can help manage effective solid waste. And in long term, we should also need to take a pledge to segregate our waste into two different bins: wet waste, which should go into the green bin, and the dry waste, which should go into the blue bin as a contribution Swachh Bharat mission. So with this, I thank you all. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask. I will be happy to respond. And I also want to request you all to go through these. Due to the COVID pandemic, we are going through a very different scenario. So I urge upon you to go through the comics which has been produced by us, Kids Vayu and Purna, and you can download and kindly go through it. Recently, we have discussed how Resident Welfare Association can help uh, address the issue of not only the waste which is being produced due to COVID-19, but several other issues. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Suman ma'am, and good afternoon, all the participants present here. I'm Dr. Ranjana Sharma, an assistant professor in subject of environment education at PGGCG 42 Chandigarh. I'm also co-coordinator of this webinar. So let us start by taking few questions that students they are asking here in the chat box. So ma'am, first question, which I can see here in the chat box. Which strategies we can use here in Chandigarh or Tri-City to manage solid waste? Or what strategies we are already using here in Tri-City?
As I told you, let us become a responsible citizen first. Now we know what are our roles and responsibility as a waste generator. So we should start segregating waste. We should give segregated waste, and we should adopt 3R. We should, contributing to a reduce, reuse, and recycle. And whatever waste is being here and there, we should lodge our complaints, and so that they can be very well taken care. And We have very good place, good mechanism in place in Chandigarh. We have RDF plant. We have other facilities like for the shredding machine. We have CND waste management plant. We have open biomedical waste treatment plant. So our responsibility is that we should hand over the segregated waste to the corporation or the person who are collecting waste. Later on, the corporation will take care.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Another question is there any solution so that plastic cannot be used or it should be banned or something? I think this is what a student want to ask because it is creating so many serious problems on our environment and it is also affecting our health. So what can be done to stop using plastic?
See, this has to come from us only. Let us not wait for the government because policies are there in place, plastic waste management rules are in place. But at the end, who are user? We all are user actually. So if we will stop using the plastic, no production will be there. Okay, so we should go for whenever we are going into the market, we can make use of the cloth bag or we should discard the plastic material. So it has to, the initiative has to come from us only. Only after that we can start stopping make usage as well as consumption.
Okay, so the next question is how can we reduce the effect of gases generated during solid waste management? I think she is going to she want to ask regarding landfills because they are releasing gases as you
Yes.
were saying.
See, used due to the degradation of the biodegradable fraction, and the biodegradable fraction comes from our kitchen. But I should say, let us zero waste. Whatever we are cooking, we should utilize it. We should take a pledge that we are not going to contribute much biodegradable waste because greenhouse gases are produced due to the biodegradation of due to the decomposition of the biodegradable waste.
Okay, ma'am. One last question that will take.
One more thing I just also want to add. Say if we are
Sure.
producing biodegradable, we cannot achieve exactly zero waste in that sense. We should try to compost it. We can start doing kind of activity our houses, and it's not very difficult task. And whatever horticulture waste we are producing, we should try to compost aerobically so that
Okay.
methane gas will be used.
Okay. Ma'am, there is one last question which one of my colleague is asking, Dr. Rashmi from our college. She said, can you please tell the best method to dispose of mask and gloves?
Yes, for that, I will suggest you to visit our site www.careforcleanair.com. We have given a very good poster. We discuss how to segregate and how to these masks and gloves for efficient disposal and efficient management.
Okay. So it is my proud privilege to thank Dr. Suman Moore, Chairperson, Department of Environment Education, to the department to which I am also an alumni. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative and inspiring presentation. Your years of research, your depth of understanding the issue, and your ability to present the subject in such an interesting manner have really produced one of the most impactful movement. I personally appreciate your efforts in creating awareness regarding Swachh Sarvekshan and citizen participation. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experiences with us. Thank you so much, ma'am, and I congratulate you for excellent performance. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Ranjana. Thank you very much.
I would also like to thank Dr. Gyan, who joined us as a keynote speaker in our first session. Thank you, Gyan, sir. And now let us move on to our next session, that is panel discussion. And our chief panelist, Dr. Sunil Mittal, sir, has already joined us. So let us wait for other panelists to join and move on to our next session, that is panel discussion. Okay. Uh, let me start introducing our chief panelist, Dr. Sunil Mittal. Dr. Sunil Mittal is Dean School of Environmental Science, Environment and Earth Sciences. He is also HOT Department of Environment, Science and Technology at Central University of Punjab, Batinda. He is keen environmentalist and has made significant contribution in the field of groundwater evaluation, wastewater treatment, development of biopesticides and biosensors, etc. Dr. Mittal has more than 15 years of teaching and research experience. He has handled projects of more than 2.3 crores from different agencies of Government of India. To his credit, Dr. Mittal has published more than 40 research papers in journals of international and national repute, 50 book chapters. His cumulative research impact factor is more than 120, with H index 17 and ITIN index 22. He has mentored 2 postdoc fellows, supervised 5 PhD, 12 MPhil, and more than 40 MSc students. 4 more students are pursuing PhD under his guidance. He was part of National Uranium Project funded by BAG, Mumbai. He is also member of State Environment Appraisal Committee of Punjab, notified by Ministry of Environment and Forest and Government of India. He was also associated with State Biodiversity Board and with many NGOs and government agencies working to save environment. Dr. Mittal has delivered seminars. He has given expert lectures in many national and international conferences. He has visited many countries to deliver his lectures. He was awarded International Bioherbicide Group Award 2009 by Weed Science Society of USA. So list is very long, Mittal sir. We are really happy and proud to have you here. Welcome, Dr. Sunil Mittal sir. Our next panelist, they also have joined us, Dr. Ritu Sarsoha. Presently, she is working as an HOD, Department of Environment Education at PG Sector 46, Chandigarh. She is also NSS Program Officer and Ek Bharat Shresht Bharat Coordinator of her college. She has worked in a DRDO sponsored project entitled Phytoremediation for 1 year at Punjab University, Chandigarh. She has participated and presented research papers in many national and international seminars and conferences. She has published number of research papers in journals of national and international repute. She has also written books on environment education and road safety education. Being NSS program officer, she has worked on many central government projects like Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, Swachhata, Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat, etc. She has also organized national seminars, online and offline, on different issues of environment as coordinator. Welcome, Dr. Ritu Sarsoha, ma'am. We have next panelist, Ms. Tanveer Kaur. She is presently working as an information officer, NVS Hub, Department of Environment, Chandigarh Administration. She completed her education from Punjab University, pursuing her PhD. She has completed her internship with Welcome Plant Mohali and Ketco Food and Research Laboratories, Ludhiana. She has done advanced course in microwave remote sensing for natural resources with Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Government of India. She has presented research papers in many national and international conferences. She has contributed chapters in 2 books, and many of her research papers, they are under review for publication in different journals of national and international repute. So such a galaxy of intellectuals I'm facing here, I'm interacting with. So welcome, I welcome you all. And as we know, the topic of today's webinar is environmental sustainability and our role. Environmental sustainability, it is about ecology, economy, and equity, in my opinion. Today, many people focus on their finances while others may be thinking about their health and relationships. Yet there is one relationship that many people have forgotten, our relationship with Earth. Now, more than ever, our planet needs us to step up and take action towards cleaning up many of the messes we have made through irresponsibility. Our government, and in fact, everyone, is talking about environment and sustainability. But there is still a lot more and must be done to bring our ecosystem back into balance. Now, let us see what our panelists have to say about this. We'll start with Ritu ma'am. Ritu Sarsoha ma'am, can I see you here? Is she here? Ritu Sarsoha ma'am, you are an educationist. You have 15 years of teaching experience in the field of environment. So what sustainability is in your opinion, and what teachers they are contributing to achieve the goals of sustainability, and do you think how successful we are?
Thank you, Dr. Ranjana. A very good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this event. I am very grateful to them for providing me this opportunity to be a part of this discussion on sustainability in the field of education. It's an honor to share this platform with my worthy fellow panelists, Dr. Sunil Mittal from Central University of Punjab and Ms. Tanveer Kaur, Information Officer from Department of Environment Education, Chandigarh. It is evident to all of us that nature is a source of life for living beings. To meet all the requirements, humans explore natural resources excessively without being followed by remediation measures or rehabilitation of natural resources. Environmental degradation becomes critical in view of globalization and modernization. In the era of technological advancements, we have started ignoring the importance of environmental issues that should be conserved and preserved. The major cause of environmental degradation are population growth, industrialization, changes in consumption pattern, and poverty. These issues are threatening the equilibrium that could exist between people and ecosystems. But it is interesting to know that in an effort to address these issues, environmental education for sustainable development is emerging as an important approach to encourage students to conserve and protect the natural environment in their schools, colleges, and in their surroundings. If we consider the history, recognizing the need of sustainable development, several efforts have been made to reorient and reorganize the education system and establish environment education more formally. Environment education has been introduced as a subject compulsory for all the students of arts, science, and commerce at the undergraduate level by UGC and at school level by NCRT and state education councils of almost all the states of India. School textbooks in all subjects and at all levels have been revised to integrate environmental concepts. We all know that the youth may play an important role in meeting the objectives of Agenda 21. Agenda 21 looked at youth's vital role in the realization of sustainable development, focusing on their right to receive a secondary education that is innovative and aimed at building problem solving skills. According to the 1986 policy, NCRT acknowledged that environment studies has been inducted into primary, secondary, and higher secondary stages. In 1991, the Supreme Court also took cognizance of the rising population and the pollution. Since then, the situation of environment in India has worsened and has gone to such a level that it has become a public health emergency. However, even if the environment studies has been included in the syllabus at the school level, the reality is that there is no much active learning in the classrooms. It is true that the schools and universities in the country has introduced environment education as compulsory subject at all levels of education. but often it remains as a neglected subject. We hardly find any subject teacher in secondary, high secondary schools and colleges. The very purpose has often been compromised. It is not possible for any non-subject teacher to impart lessons on environment studies to the students properly. In colleges, this subject remains in letters, not in spirits. Its presence can only be limited to celebration of World Environment Day or plantation of some saplings. Environmental sensitization, awareness, and environmental work cannot be possible through such type of study. The subject itself cannot be prospered. Not even the students of environment science or environment management can be motivated and inspired to opt for those subjects as career options. If we see the remote areas and private schools and colleges, they don't even have a faculty especially for teaching environment education. From my perspective, the schools and universities should facilitate learning by doing for students by encouraging them to undertake practical projects to learn about the environment and sustainability. The schools and university administrators should also encourage teachers to undertake such projects with the students. These institutions may seek the help of organizations or experts working in this area, such as the Center of Environment Education and CSC. As we all know, that the basic purpose of environment education is to give next generation a vision for a better sustainable future full of prosperity. But there are certain challenges in successful implementation of environment education. According to me, these challenges require that we re-examine the way we research and train environmental professionals and the educators, as well as the way we communicate environment information to the general public. Great strides have already been made in strengthening environmental education for the general public. In my point of view, one of the major challenges is the content of environment education, which is not much comprehensive and it is very less informative for the students. It should be enhanced in such a way that it expresses a clear association to the environment and environmental concerns. The content should associate the learning with the actual world. It has to be applicable to the learners and include issues that are significant to the society. And also, it should equip the learners with the adequate skills in order to continue learning all through the life. Another challenge is the limited time available for teaching environmental issues within the context of schools and colleges. Environmental education nearly always has to be scheduled for the afternoons and the evenings and the weekends, a situation that is not ideal either for the teachers or for the learners. Then there is less academic value of the subject. In most of the universities, the environment education paper is only of qualifying nature. That is why students also give less importance to learning environment as a subject since they consider it to be of no academic value to them. The way we plan today for public education on the environment will have dramatic effects on the future quality of life. Effective and meaningful environmental education is a challenge we must take seriously if we and future generations are to enjoy the benefits of our natural heritage. I think it will become less neglected once businesses figure out that sustainability makes good commercial sense. The finance sector is factoring in risk from climate change, even if governments are not. And accounting bodies are also showing some good leadership. Ultimately, there will be pressure for universities to bring it into the mainstream curriculum rather than simply have it as an add on. I would predict that people investing in building their skills and knowledge of environment and sustainable development will reap dividends in the near future. The colleges and university campuses should also play their part in adopting sustainable practices by auditing the campus buildings, and infrastructure for its natural resource consumption. Social media portals are also very popular among all the age groups and can be used to promote nature protection, including protection of natural biological ecosystems, biodiversity, reclamation of the barren land, and restoration of nature, development of green parks and green areas in the cities, and afforestation of areas degraded by industrial development. I would conclude by saying I don't want to protect environment, but I want to create a world where environment does not need any protection. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ritu ma'am. I fully agree to your words that so many things are happening with the efforts of government and with the efforts of teachers and everyone, environmentalists and all who are working in this field. But lot more is really required. So let's move on to our next panelist, Ms. Tanmeet Kaur. Welcome, ma'am. You are working with the Chandigarh administration. You are working with Department of Environment. Lots of projects you people are running. You are working at grassroots level too. And you are also a research scholar. So what you are to say about environmental sustainability and its implementation?
Thank you so much, Dr. Ranjana Sharma. First of all, I would like to thank the entire team of GCG 42 for organizing this Need of the Hour webinar, that is the environmental sustainability, our roles and challenges. So I would like to begin with the general perception of what sustainability really means. If we talk about environmental sustainability, we assume that adopting a few lifestyle changes, for instance, keeping a check on your carbon footprint or your water footprint, maybe we assume that we have started adopting a sustainable life. But in reality, sustainability is a lot more than just environmental sustainability. Under the ambit of sustainability, I feel that there are three major aspects which need active consideration. That is, of course, environmental, there is the social aspect and the economic aspect. So the equilibrium between these three aspects, if we are able to achieve that, only then we will be able to achieve a wholesome sustainability. And I'll give you an example. Like ma'am said, that I'm also a research scholar. So I'm pursuing research in environmental sciences. That is the impact of hydroelectric power projects on the ecosystem in the Kullu Valley of Himachal Pradesh. So me being from an environmental background, I initially began with the environmental implications of hydropower projects. And during my course of research, it eventually got shifted to the social aspects. It was later I realized that this wasn't really a shift. It was an interconnection between the environmental and social aspects. When a development or an infrastructural project is being built, there are a number of environmental issues. Like in case of a dam, there are river diversion issues. There is impact on the forest ecosystem, on the river ecosystem. There is habitat defragmentation, impact on the wildlife. And at the same time, there are social impacts, such as social protests. There are issues regarding displacement. There are issues regarding compensation, R&R packages. So unless a little, even I can't say that there is complete, that everything has to be perfect in case of a development project, but even the slightest bit of harmony between the social and the environmental aspects would automatically contribute into the third aspect, that is the economic development. So if these two factors are understood at a grassroots level, then it would lead to the economic development, not only of the region, but also of the nation as a whole. So for me, sustainability is something that is wholesome. It's not only about environmental sustainability. It's also about the social aspect, because we come under the social aspect. So other than that, sustainability in simple terms can be understood as something that has the capacity to endure or to maintain itself in the environment. Like the four basic R's of sustainability, which are the reuse, recycle, reduce, and rethink. So I feel the fourth, that is the rethink, is the most important, because we as humans, we have to rethink our capability and ability to exploit the resources considering the current situation. Uh, so yes, sustainability is something that has to be considered and has to be attended to from our end. We being the rulers of the nation and being on the top of the food chain, it is our responsibility to consume the resources judiciously. So yes, talking, that's my whole idea of sustainability. It's I feel sustainability is includes a combination and interrelation between these three aspects. Uh, all right, now being talking about the government sector, so there are multiple outreach programs that the government is conducting. The nodal agency is the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and through the ministry has began. Sorry, there's slight disturbance. Okay, so the ministry has began a national green core. It is a platform that includes awareness programs from various schools and colleges. From various schools and colleges. So this National Green Corps is distributed in every state and UT of India, and through this platform, we conduct various awareness programs of our school and college level. And this includes the Swachhta, this includes the celebration of every environment related day, such as the Environment Day, the Ozone Day, there is the Water Day and the Earth Day. So the students and college students are actively engaged in understanding the role of sustainability and thus delivering in that context. Other than that, Chandigarh, I can talk about Chandigarh, and in fact, every state there is a program, a Green Skill Development Program, also called as GSDP. So under this program, we impart skill training, green skill training to all the students who were not able to pursue further studies due to multiple reasons. So this year, we are conducting two programs, that is the solar training and the ETP and STP training in Chandigarh. And we received over 50 to 60 applicants this year. And through this program, we deliver the state-of-the-art infrastructure and technical information about the solar panels that are to be installed, the installation and the role of renewable energy. It is not only a theoretical program, it is also a practical program, because these students are taken to multiple field visits for better understanding of the renewable energy, like I told, the solar and the ESTP, ETP and STP. Other than this, we are also launching a app, an environmental app called as Carbon Eye. This is being developed by Envis Hub Chandigarh, and through this app, we will be able to keep a check on our carbon footprint and also on our water footprint. So we will be simply able to calculate how much water consumption we are taking into consideration, or whether we can carpool if that's an option. So yeah, these are some of the initiatives that are taken by the Chandigarh administration. Other than, if I talk about Chandigarh, Chandigarh has taken a lot of actions, also known as the clean and green city of India, because of multiple reasons. Chandigarh has an area of 140 square kilometer, out of which the forest cover, that is 48 square kilometers. So that is pretty commendable. In addition to the forest cover, there is tree cover, which contributes to about 25 square kilometer. So there is a reason that, when we enter from Panchkula or from Kharar or from Mohali, the moment we enter Chandigarh, we feel that, yes, the air seems more breathable, more clean.
Green and clean.
And green. And also it is a very well organized, very well planned city of India. It has about 193 kilometer of cycle track, which is very well connected. And if you happen to have a cycle, it is a beautiful feeling to roam around in Chandigarh, because there are trees all around. And the beauty of Chandigarh is that in one lane, the same type of trees would be planted. So this is also an initiative taken by MC because of environmental and aesthetic beauty, of course. Other than that, 75% of Chandigarh's energy requirements are met through renewable sources and largely of solar energy. So Chandigarh is declared as the model solar city with already installed 35 megawatt of solar rooftop power plants. So if you happen to come to Environment Department, Chandigarh, you can see that the entire building is powered through renewable energy. We tend to tap the solar energy through solar panels. And other than that, even the ISBT, the rooftop is covered through solar panels. So that is one thing that Chandigarh is good in, of the many things. In addition, Chandigarh is also designated wetland. It has a designated wetland, that is Sukhna Wildlife, and it is a beautiful place for migratory species. There are the multiple migratory bird species that come to Chandigarh because of its wetland beauty. Other than that, in terms of waste, it has 100% treatment of sewage water. And this is used for gardening purposes. Of course, it's a tertiary source of water, so it is used for gardening purposes. And it has 100% door-to-door waste collection efficiency. So in terms of waste, I feel Chandigarh's collection capacity is wonderful. What needs a serious consideration is the segregation part, and upon which, like Suman ma'am suggested, we are already working on, and we've achieved a lot in that sector. Other than that, another fact about Chandigarh is that the conventional energy street light system is being replaced through LED. So that is again, the entire Chandigarh has LED empowered street system. So that is again a very commendable action that is taken by the Department of Environment. In addition, India's cleanest state capital was Chandigarh as per the Swachhta Sarvekshan Award in 2019. So I feel that it is not only the administration that has played, that we have been able to achieve all this. It was the active engagement of the residents of the city. It was the active engagement of the students, the teachers, the researchers, and everybody who has been actively contributing to this. So yes, this role has been played by the Department of Environment and the citizens of Chandigarh. As per me, the major challenge in sustainability is consumerism. So I feel that in order to understand that, we need to instill this feeling of gratitude amongst the youth of the nation at a very young, at a very grassroots level, I would say. That if you have 3 pairs of jeans, I feel you don't really need another pair of jeans. And why? Why is the main question that needs to be answered. If a child has been told that approximately 1,800 gallons of water is used in the manufacturing of 1 pair of jeans, maybe he would also think. So I think these facts, these well-researched facts should be presented to the youth so that even they can make an intelligent decision about whether to buy things which are really not required. So I feel that is the major challenge, the lack of gratitude amongst the people. And if that is attended to, because after all, the earth doesn't belong to us, we belong to the planet earth. So we have a sense of obligation in exploiting its resources. In any case, the earth is giving us a lot of things: the shade of a tree, the taste of a fresh edible fruit. So if that sense of gratitude is instilled between students and amongst the youth of the nation, the problem of sustainability will automatically come into consideration and will be resolved. So yes, that's about it. And these were the initiatives taken by the administration with the help of the local citizens and the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tanveer ma'am. You have given a beautiful and very interesting picture what our administration here is doing regarding environmental awareness and sustainability. And I really feel proud when I'm listening to all these things that I live in a city which is not only the city beautiful, but it is environmentally environmentally conscious people. They live here. Administration is doing a lot about solar and all other aspects, whether it is solid waste management or installation of solar panels, and then replacing whatever you were talking about, replacing simple tube lights with LEDs, etc. So really a very nice and beautiful picture you have presented here. And I also did my PhD on mining, so same were the issues and realizations. Yeah, so if we are talking about environmental sustainability, we cannot ignore economic growth. There should be overall development and a balanced development in which we need to plan both economic growth as well as social environmental sustainability. So thank you so much. Now let's move on to the chief panelist of the session, Dr. Sunil Mittal sir. I welcome you again, sir, and you have lots of experience, research experience as well as teaching experience. You also have worked with the State Environment Appraisal Committee, which is also a part of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So what are the sustainability goals of our government? And what you would like to say about environmental sustainability? And I would also like to request you to please sum up the entire session too. Over to you, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dr. Ranjana. I hope I am audible. I am also thankful to you for such a nice introduction. In fact, Dr. Ranjana is one of my oldest colleagues from GCG 11, and thank you. Then I also congratulate Professor Nisha Agarwal and her team, Dr. Sunita, Dr. Ritu, Dr. Vikas, for organizing such a thought-provoking international webinar. I listened both the experts, Dr. Gyan and Dr. Sumanmur, and they have really given a highly intellectual talk on climate change and solid waste management. My two panelists, Dr. Ritu and Dr. Tanveer Kaur, they talked about the different issues of environment. In fact, environment or nature always has remained most powerful driving force for human survival. The importance of safe and clean environment has been highlighted time to time since start of human civilization. The evidences of same can be gathered from historical and holy books. The importance of environmental components like air, water, soil, biodiversity has been highlighted time to time by our gurus, peers, pagambers, etc. And I believe that the association of different animals or plants or different environmental components with different religions was actually for their preservation due to their role in sustainable ecosystem and importance for the human being. However, with increasing population and industrialization, the humans became self-centric and our society moved from a producer to consumer-centric society, as already talked by Ms. Tanveer Kaur. Yes, Dr. Tanveer, you rightly said that one of the most important thing which have changed our lifestyle is our consumer-centric thinking. This is mainly unplanned growth of human civilization, which has led to degradation of our ecosystem and natural beauty. We have converted most of our drinkable water to polluted one. 1/5 of our biggest cities have air pollution level in unsafe category. We have lost our biodiversity and so many other problems which we all are talking. So, in fact, we have destroyed our environment and nature from multidimensional angles and reached to a level where we have to start thinking of saving it. Thanks to the 1972 United Nations Conference on Environment in Stockholm, the first world conference to highlight the environmental degradation as a major issue internationally. In last 50 years, number of organizations has come up regionally and globally to take up different issues of environment. The issues are being taken up formally as well as informally. Uh, but as Dr. Ritu has said, there are number of limitations in our education system, especially in our country. Still, there is environment science is not a major subject. It is not taken up seriously, but still we cannot leave it as such, citing these problems. We need to work at one level. We need to move ahead from creating day to everyday environment day. Water day, air day, ozone day, or a biodiversity day. They should be taken into account in our own lifestyle. But at the same time, our role as an individual is most important. We should not be successful if we do not take responsibility for our own behavior and daily choices towards environment, be it carbon footprints, polluting water, air, or soil, or biodiversity destruction. We have to change our impression that this is something that concerns to only our politicians, environmentalists, or governments. There are countless examples in our history where a civilization damaged its own environment and the same boom went to seriously affect their own survival. We should understand that this is actually what the sustainable development talks about. So it is all our responsibility to protect the environment, not only for our own, but also for our future generations. So I will sum up with the only two quotes, and I think these two quotes will cover all the. One is, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. So it is our responsibility to save it for our next generations. Another is, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. So we should believe we have to save it. We should have to work for it. Thank you.
Speaker is off.
Dr. Ranjan, I believe your speaker is off. Please unmute yourself.
For joining us and making this event a great success. In the end, I would just like to say that we don't have to engage in grand heroic actions to participate in change. Small
Invite Mrs. Nita Arya, HOD, Department of
the world.
Environment Education, for
For
formal vote of
formal vote
thanks.
of thanks.
Everyone. Environmental problems are challenging to address because they are difficult to see, diffused over time and space. It is hard to identify responsible parties too. And moreover, the benefits for the environment and degradation are concentrated and immediate, while benefits for environmental protection are often discussed in long term. Countries are reluctant to take steps to limit environmental degradation and when they feel that they may be economic sacrifices that will benefit others, not themselves. So now is the high time to rethink, reframe, react. I want to thank you and all educators from different universities for taking out their valuable time to join us for this event. I want to express appreciation on behalf of everyone for your enlightening discussion and presentation today. Dr. Suman Moore, Dr. Gyan Shrestha, Dr. Sunil Mittal, your years of research and your depth of knowledge on this webinar are most memorable. Many thanks to my principal, Professor Nisha Agarwal, College Dean, Dr. Poonam Agarwal, for their supportive hand and guidance. I would like to personally thank Tisha, who provided all the technical support for this webinar. Thank you so much, Kiti, for your humble and ready to guide nature. And I'm more thankful to my dear colleague and co-coordinator of this webinar, Dr. Ranjana Sharma, for all the assistance. I'm thankful to my entire team, Dr. Vikas Sharma, Dr. Rashmi Kohli, Dr. Harpreet Kaur. Without you, this webinar would not have been possible. I also want to thank the participants who joined our webinar. Thank you for your attention and patience. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you found the webinar to be informational, and I also sincerely hope all of us will consciously make efforts to protect our environment and promote sustainability further, making this planet a better place to live in. You make the difference. Each one of us can make the difference. So because words may inspire, but action creates images. So thank you so much and have a good day.
अब लीव कर रही हूँ, स्टूडियो लीव ही नहीं हो रहा देखो।